Am I natty? Okay. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Today we're gonna do something a little bit different. I get a lot of questions from a bunch of you guys on Instagram all the time, so I figured why not do a Q&A. The other day on my Instagram, I posted for you guys to send me questions, and I wanna sit down here and answer all your questions so that anything that's commonly asked is answered. Before we get into the Q&A, you know what I'm gonna tell you. Full send supplements. Guys, how many times do I have to tell you? If you're not taking these, you're putting yourself at a deficit. You need to take full send subs. This pre-workout fuels every single workout I've done ever since I've gotten it. So good. Let me pop up the code. Let me put it right here in my hand. Renato 15% off all supplements. Click the link in my description or go use the code on the website itself, 15% off. Thank you very much. Go get your pump with full send subs. Take care of yourself. Without further ado, let's ask some questions. Also, side note, I wanted to record this outside because it's the summer right now and it's so nice out. And it looks like I'm racing a thunderstorm. It kind of looks like it's gonna rain. But until then, we're gonna shoot it anyway. First question is, diet for shredding while maintaining muscle mass. I get a lot of questions on my diet, and at some point, I promised to do a video on my diet of the day and just run through the meals I ate that day. But I'm gonna stress something very important to you guys. Most of my followers are ages between 17 and 24. It's my main demographic of you guys. And it's important to remember, we're all very young and most of our metabolisms are still really high. And for the longest time, I was very anal about making sure I had this specific amount of protein, this much low fat, this much in carbs every single day. What's my number? The truth is, for the last few months, honestly, hitting my protein goal. The best way to equate your protein goal in terms of shredding is body weight in grams of protein. I'm sitting at 195 to 197 pounds right now. So if I was cutting, I'd probably do about 190 grams of protein, maybe a little bit more. I wouldn't exceed my body weight. And then when you're eating that many grams of protein, your other macros tend to complement each other really nicely. Again, I don't want to stress the diet too much. I'm not a bodybuilder. I'm someone who really enjoys working out. I'm very into my aesthetic, obviously, but in terms of diet, hit your protein because your muscles need protein. Eat your carbs after you work out. They're really good for recovery. I think it refuels your glycogen, which is what you need in order to work out. It's natural energy. So fruit smoothies are huge for me. Whey protein fruit smoothies. Turkey's my favorite source of protein. Chicken, you can't go wrong with the chicken. I don't eat as much red meat as most people do. But again, body weight and protein, keep the fats on the low. You know, if you want to cut properly, you need to have a cleaner diet. I'm not saying don't enjoy foods. If you want a slice of pizza, eat the fucking pizza. That's what I would do. But focus on your protein. Your other macros should complement each other nicely, and then make sure you're moving. What are some essentials for gym recovery on rest day? Like tips, accessories, etc. So this is something I'm learning to do a lot better because before I did not do a lot on my off days, but nowadays, when I have an off day, I make sure to move around a little bit and stretch. The best piece of advice I could offer, go on a jog, do like 10, 15-minute jog. Don't worry about getting that heart rate up too high, just break a little bit of a sweat, go through a nice, long, dynamic stretch, then do a static stretch, call it a day. I think it's important for recovery that you're actually taking that day off. For the longest time, I would have a recovery day and a day off, and what I would do instead of taking the day off is I would work in like little accessory workouts. Don't do that. If you think you can hit your arms on the off day, I promise you at some point you're gonna get injured because you're gonna overwork that muscle group. It's an off day. Move around a little bit, stretch out. I'd say do a 30-minute workout, which consists of 15 minutes of moving around like jogging, even walking at a faster pace. Stretch dynamically because you're gonna have the blood flowing, then stretch static, go home. And relax. Do whatever you'd like to do on your off day. How to bench 3 plates like you. I love talking about this. So yeah, I told myself this year I was gonna bench 315, and I did. And I've had a few people ask me how I got to that number because some people really want to get to that 3-plate stack. Here's how I work the bench press. And I'll show you footage while I do this, but when I go to the gym during the week, I will bench press twice. The first session is a heavier set, consistent workout. And what I mean by that is I will show up, I will take a percentage of my max, which right now is at 315. And I'll show you some quick math right here. So take your 1 rep max, 315 for me, and let's do times 0.75. I want 75% of my 315, 236. So 235, and I will work with weights around that. My most successful approach for that has been 5 sets of 5 heavy reps with increments each time. So let's say if I started at 225, I would work up by 10 pounds. So 235, I'm sorry, 235, 245, 255, etc. So on and so forth. Bring a spotter that day. That's really important, so you're getting everything out of your system. You're not cheating yourself and not getting enough reps. The second day of bench, I go higher volume, lower weight. I wish I could explain more of the science behind why this got me to 315. The truth is, if you want to be able to increase your maxes, you should be doing that lift frequently. I know a lot of people, for example, who want heavier squats, but they only squat once a week, and at that rate, you're not gonna go anywhere. The bench and that 315 bench was something I was so hyper focused on that I made sure, bare minimum, 2 times a week, and yeah, outside of it, work your accessories. And for a bench press especially, you gotta work the tricep. If you're not making your tricep stronger, you're always gonna suffer on that. You're always gonna suffer on that lockout, that final part of the bench. Develop your triceps, split your bench workouts into 2 different workouts, one based on heavier weight, one on volume. Blast those triceps, high volume. I work my accessories until failure. I recommend you do the same. You're not risking too much injury with doing that. And they're smaller muscle groups, they're gonna recover quicker. So that's what I would recommend to get the 3 plate. Next question. What's my favorite muscle to train and exercise? This changes all the time. Right now, it's gotta be my arms, particularly the tricep. I'm someone who has always been pretty insecure about the size of my arms. Growing up, I was just very skinny, and you can see it in pictures that I'll show you guys. I'll pop them up right here. I was super skinny, and when you're that skinny, your arms are glaringly small. So right now, I'd say my triceps and biceps, favorite thing to work out, but shoulders might be stealing that, and you'll see that soon from my workout footage. I think shoulders might overtake that muscle group as my favorite. But as of now, triceps and biceps. It's a pretty tame one. Have you ever straightened your hair? Yeah. And it looked really dumb. And I'm not gonna show you a picture of that. Did you ever play on a sports team? Yeah. Guys, before I started working out, I was a soccer player, and I still am. I play with the Rutgers club team. I play with my friends on intramural teams and Sunday league teams. I play a lot of soccer. So yeah, I've been a part of sports teams my whole life. Funnily enough, sports wasn't the reason I got into the gym, and maybe I'll answer that in a later question. But yeah, I've always been a sports guy. So yep, been a part of a few. What is one thing that inspired you? I'm not sure if you're asking something that's inspired me in general or to work out, be in the gym, but I will answer this in terms of my goals for my life. Yeah, heavy shit. Well, one thing that has definitely inspired me is the visual progress you see in the gym. I don't know if I can pull up this photo. I have really hard times finding my older gym pictures when I first started working out, but I was so obsessed after a month of seeing my body before and after, because you could see the progress. And granted, I was nowhere near where I am now. I think drawing inspiration from seeing yourself accomplish these things and get bigger, get more muscle, it looks more defined. Once you see that, that's huge for me. So that's something that really inspired me and continues to inspire me. You know, when I take pictures, which I don't do that often, and I see progress and I can look at my arms and say, oh, my biceps got bigger, or oh, my shoulders look more defined, or I got some fat off my leg, that's what inspires me. Have you always had a dumpy? Got it. What made you start lifting, keep lifting, and what inspires you to keep lifting? All right, this is gonna be really long-winded. I will talk to you about why I started lifting. And while I will refrain from some detail because a lot of it is pretty personal, let's dive into that. So, viewer discretion, this gets a little deep, a little hard to hear, so just want to give you a heads up. The year was 2018. It was my freshman year of college, my first semester, and I had a girlfriend back at home. Yeah, you see where this is going, but just hear me out. I had a girlfriend back at home, and I invested all of my happiness into one person, and when the inevitability of a breakup came to pass, I was in shambles, and I didn't bounce back that quickly, and I'm someone who has suffered with depression for a pretty long time, but I think it all really came full circle after that breakup. You know, when you're that young and you set out, when you're that young and you really believe that one person is the only reason why you're living and why you're happy, when they leave, everything stops. And the things that used to bring you joy don't. And so 2019 rolls around, it's the second half of the year. I was barely eating. I was trying to sleep all the time, but you know, you can only sleep so many hours of a day. I wasn't working out. I was still playing soccer, but that was the only thing that got me out of my room. I struggled to get to classes, and my grades were suffering because of it. And okay, that March, I really believed that my life was not worth living anymore. Up till that point, I hadn't really experienced anything like suicidal tendencies, but I started cutting, and I was completely convinced that everyone in my life would be so much better off without me. And one night in March, I went into my shared dorm bathroom with a razor, and I turned on the shower, and I put out an Instagram post saying thank you for the ride to everyone. And I sat there. I don't remember if it was an hour or 2 hours, 20 minutes. I just sat there crying, sitting on the floor, staring at my arm with the razor in my hand. And I had really thought at that point that I was done. It's weird, it's not as hard for me to talk about now as it used to be. I think I've sort of accepted that this happened to me and I was able to recover. But I had someone in my life at that point, guess you consider a family friend, not a parent necessarily, but I consider them a guardian angel, call me and wouldn't stop calling me until I picked up, and I just sat with them on the phone. They talked me down, and that day ended. I don't remember if it was a week or a day. It could have been any amount of time, but after that incident, at some point, one of my best friends in the world, his name is Adnan, I met him in Maryland. One day he asked me to go to the gym with him, and I wasn't someone who was working out regularly at that point, or even interested in going to the gym, but he asked me to go with him, and I was like, all right, I guess I'll go. And so we get there, and the first thing he wants to do is hop on the bench press. I'm like, okay, I've never really done this before. I had occasionally done it in weight room for soccer in high school, but I wasn't strong and I wasn't very good at it, nor did I really care about it. Even on the few occasions that I went to the gym on my own in high school, I was never on the bench press, let it be known. But we get there, we sit down on the bench, he shows me the ropes, and after increasing weight, doing reps, increasing weight, doing reps, back and forth, I ended the day with a 185-pound PR on bench, the first time I ever bench pressed. And guys, I fell in love with the gym after that. I don't recommend doing this because it's not really good for you, but I bench pressed 4 days in a row after that. And I wanted to be in the gym every day. I wanted to be on the bench, working on my bench press, getting higher numbers, and just keep going with it. And although for the longest time after that, I hadn't found a proper training routine yet, I was hooked. And I think that was, that day in the gym is really what set me on the path that I'm on now. And I have so many people to thank for that. But the one thing I will say about that experience that I will insist that everyone listens to is, even in your darkest moments in life, there is light at the end of the tunnel. It's not easy to see, and you won't see it for a while, but you need to just put your faith in the other side. It was hard. I didn't think I would make it, and now I'm here to tell you that you can. But guys, if you're ever feeling depressed, suicidal, lonely, sad, upset, just down in the dumps, reach out to someone, whether it's a friend or a family member. And I know you hear this all the time, but it's the truth. These people really care. I couldn't believe how many people I horrified when I took way too long to ever reach out and say something to them. And if I could go back, I would have said something sooner. Your life matters. And I promise you that hard times will pass, but you need to let people help you get through them. I couldn't do it by myself. I don't know many people, if anyone, that should do it by themselves. Reach out. Ask for help. Yeah, that was my gym origin story. Rough, but you know what? I don't struggle to talk about it anymore because it's a part of my life, and I wouldn't change anything because I'm here now. I'm motivated, I'm happy, I'm healthy, and I'm just so grateful for the people in my life who helped me get to this point. So yeah, that's what first got me into the gym and what inspired me. Am I natty? Okay, look guys, I have a confession to make. I know a lot of you are going to be disappointed, but yes, I'm natty. You know, I get this question a lot, and I usually take it as a compliment because I think it goes to show how much of a change I've made and how much work I continue to put in. But yes, I am natural. Steroids, PEDs, whatever you want to call them, it's not something I've ever really considered. I think there was a time in my life where I went, interesting, a cheat, not necessarily a cheat, but a shortcut to gains. It sounds awesome on paper. I'm not someone who would put something like that in their body. I haven't done enough research on it. And one thing I will say about it, I don't have an issue with it. I think if you're a content creator, or hell, just someone who goes to the gym and you're on steroids, if you are open and honest about it, power to you, because it's your body. You can do whatever you want with it. The only supplements I put in my body at the moment, whey protein, creatine, and of course, come on. You knew I was gonna plug the pre-workout, full send subs, code, link, description, go. Can you send me a video of you? I think I'm gonna call it there. I think that was enough picking my brain for one day. I know this was different. This isn't something I've done before on the channel, but I wanted to take a moment to step out of the gym and get on level with you guys. You know, like I've always said, I want a big part of this channel to be outside of the gym, the person I am, the struggles I go through, and what puts me in the gym every day. So I hope you enjoyed it. I would love to do another one of these if there are enough questions that I can make a part 2 to this Q&A, or just do another one whenever the day may come. I'd be so down. So if you guys enjoyed it, this is something you want to see again, do me a huge favor. Go down, hit the like, leave a comment, tell me you liked it. Leave a question too if you want more questions answered. Also, subscribe. I really think we can close 100 pretty quickly, and I think once we do that, we're gonna start flying. So guys, if you're not subscribed already, go check. I'm gonna give you a few seconds right now to go do it. No, like really, go do it. I'll give you a few seconds. Okay, thank you. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I will see you all in the next video.